In all honesty, I don't even know if I can begin to find the right words to describe just how incredible this chapter was. It was heartbreaking, tragic, emotional, powerful. Pretty much everything you would want from such a meaningful Attack on Titan chapter. Something so suffocating with how thick its emotional tension was, and how beautiful it was utilized in all the right ways to make you feel broken and empty by the end of it. To the point where you finish and have to sit back and recollect your thoughts, your emotions, where you realize this is it. This is the start of the final moments that will eventually bring Attack on Titan to its conclusion. Without a doubt, and alongside countless others, moments like these will be remembered forever and propel Attack on Titan's name into a completely new realm of respect and legacy after it's completed. What it brought forth in writing, characters, events, emotions, impact, its powerful, meaningful messages will all be cemented in the theoretical Hall of Fame, something that people will remember and respect for potentially generations. And I, for one, couldn't be more proud and thankful to Isayama for not only being able to experience the journey, witness the ending, but also be a part of the monumental community it has created. We are all witnessing the conclusion of such a powerful story, told with such visceral passion, and it's only just getting started. Undoubtedly, after all that emotional stuff being said, there is an endless amount of things that this chapter does extremely well. How it played around with perspective, the mirroring of characters and their actions, the understanding of one's emotions and the contortion of will and fate that changes people to the core. Everything has been wrapped up beautifully for us as readers to completely indulge in and comprehend every viewpoint from a variety of different angles that you wouldn't normally see. This creates such a polarizing experience that leaves you taken back and forces you to recollect your emotions and thoughts by the end of it. So, with the opening out of the way, let's take a closer look at this chapter and its architecture, how it utilized such prominent moments to create an overwhelming, memorable experience from multiple perspectives that can easily shake you to your core. The opening of this chapter is extremely subtle in mirroring Eren's actions, decision-making, and consequences. Nevertheless, through a child we have seen before, boy known as Ramsey, who struggles to survive within Marley, who's shown with another boy known as Halil as they discuss their thief nature of stealing money and hiding it away so they can one day escape with their family, to hopefully give them a better future. What's important about this interaction is the thought process on why they are stealing money from people to begin with, as even though they know the consequences, with Rams's right hand already being cut off, he still persists that somebody has to do it and potentially bear the negative results to hopefully bring forth a better life for their friends, family. They have seen enough death through the winters as not everybody can survive it within their living conditions. You can almost relate this whole conversation back to Eren and Armin talking about their own freedom on multiple different occasions. Even the thought process Eren has gone through to push himself to become this very same type of person. Someone that will bear the potential consequences to hopefully free his people and create a progressive future, because no one else will. The scales are obviously dramatically different, but the mindset is almost identical, with pre-existing context that adds value and justifications for those actions. One is small and condensed that has an equal end result, which is death. The other is global and potentially progressive that can also easily end in death. The difference lie in their experiences, emotions, and the ripple effect their actions cause. But it's even more important that this child Ramsey acknowledges that, even if he does die, he wants Halil to give the money to everyone and continue down the path he made possible. The reason I mention this specifically is because for a while now, a percentage of people didn't think Eren knew his own consequences, almost like they warped the idea of Eren fighting for his own freedom and the future to potentially live, when in reality it's kind of the opposite. Eren is fighting for his people's freedom by sacrificing himself to do all those horrendous things, not because he wants to, but because he has been forced to, because there is no other way or option for his people to prosper. Eren going in with this mindset that he would die by the end of it is something that was always there. He's accepted the consequences, the results, and even his own death. As long as his devastating actions carve a path to freedom for his people and a progressive understanding future, he would die happy, knowing that it was worth it, knowing that what he sacrificed, what he pushed himself to do, the emotional trauma it caused him knowing he would have to kill many innocent people to get there, was worth it. Opening up with something so simple yet powerful is an incredible way to understand Eren through a different lens, a different character, a different perspective, but also does a great job in building the foundation of the chapter's atmosphere, because right after this comes Eren's thoughts and heartbreaking emotions to the idea of all the innocent people he's going to have to kill. I feel the best word to use throughout this whole segment of Eren's internalization is reflection. This process takes his thoughts and emotions through a reflecting period with him coming to fully understand and grasp his following actions. It's an extremely useful and dominant utilization to showcase Eren in extremely human nature, prior to his big scary appearance and personality we currently see him as. The full purpose is to draw out a lot of Eren's questions that he's asking himself and gives them room to breathe. It shows the internal struggle and effort he went through to validate his future actions and the mindset he would force himself into. This doesn't come easy, as you can see Eren fly through different emotions from regret, anger, sadness, despair to sorrow. They all have their place and nuanced actions to how Eren thinks about things while bypassing innocent people. The steps he continues to take to hopefully clench onto the idea of throwing away his humanity. He never reaches this point, and for good reason. That same boy Ramsey, who he met a while ago, is someone that he actually turned around to save, and that comes after he originally turned away and left him to get beat up, knowing that he would also kill him in the future. You could claim this point to be a turning one, with Eren realizing through his own tears as he deeply and desperately expresses his apologies to Ramsey without context. It's not inherently clear if Eren is expressing all of his emotional thoughts to Ramsey or if it's monologued from elsewhere, just over the top. But it's safe to assume, given his mental stability and his prior thought process, alongside how the chapter unfolds from past to present, that he broke within this moment and felt the guilt of his future actions. In this case, it makes for a beautiful and heartbreaking scene between them, which is even supported by the current events unfolding. You can also view it as the death and destruction that's taking place is what Eren's seen and expressed his sadness within their personal moment. He even claims to be disappointed with what was outside the walls and wished for everything to just disappear. The slight glint of justification for his actions swirled with monumental desperation and even yearning for that understanding. It's a deeply sad and overwhelming moment of, please forgive me for the actions I will take. I've had no other option. The world that I'm disappointed in that I dreamt was beautiful is corrupt and dangerous. It has pushed me to save my own people, to finally set them free. I'm so sorry. From here we get to witness the absolute destructive force of the Wall Titans and the death of many people, as Marley becomes surrounded and destroyed. Isayama didn't hold back in showing just how gruesome and harrowing it would be. This is the rumbling. This is the power of Titans that everyone was scared of. And now for such a detailed showcase of the Wall Titans causing havoc, we lead into something rather interesting, a child Eren. For me, there's a lot of different ways you can view child Eren within these moments, as a lot of stories tend to have different child representations and meanings. At the bare minimum, you could also say this child Eren is pulled from the past and is currently seeing the future through the past, but without context and self-realization. It's a little bit confusing, but think of it as a manifestation of what Eren wanted to be like, without the regret, guilt, and sadness we just witnessed be expressed so deeply. It falls back onto the idea of Eren trying his hardest to swipe his humanity under the rug, so it would make his actions a lot more easier. And even though his mindset changes quite a bit to turn him into a colder character, his actions would prove otherwise, that he isn't completely heartless, that a small portion of his humanity still remains. His child self is a more naive version, one with simple outlooks of things that can't understand the full picture, as the experience and life lived is not there. This could theoretically allow Eren to comprehend and digest his current actions easier by viewing himself like this, a state of ignorance, knowing that if he didn't, it would be harder to continue pushing forward. If it's something similar to this, Armin coming into the realm to see Eren as a child is a powerful thing, and brings up the lingering idea of if anyone can stop Eren, they have to get through to him emotionally while in this naive, ignorant, childlike state. And the people that have the best chance to do that is Armin and Mikasa. Just thinking about Eren creating this version and mindset for himself to allow him to continue this destruction works extremely well in the final confrontation between them. As if they can't stop Eren by force, they need to stop him mentally, which will take place within the paths that both Armin and Mikasa have access to. If Eren is a child within the paths, they have to get through to him and bring his original humanity back. It will be a painful experience for him, but one that's filled with such emotional value and weight. The finale of this chapter focuses on Armin and Annie, which is something I feel we have all been waiting to witness for quite some time now. Not only do we get some personal realizations between both of them, coming to understand each other's emotions and for one another, we also get that final bit of Armin we needed to cement his growth before the following things take place. Even though the beginning of the chapter was extremely emotional and destructive, having it pulled into a pseudo-confession from Armin's appreciation and crush towards Annie over the years with a shade of hopefulness was a rather nice thing. A polarizing change of pace, but welcomed nonetheless. How they confide and open up to one another is simply heartwarming and well deserved between both of them, especially in such a vital time. Gives them the slight but much needed comfort and support, especially when it shifts into Armin's hopefulness for the future him and Eren dreamt about. A beautiful place outside the walls that they could both look forward to. As the final panel we get that brings the chapter to a somber conclusion is of Eren's face, asleep within his Titan structure. To bring this video to a conclusion, all I can say is that this chapter overall for me was incredibly heartbreaking, emotional, and just beautifully mesmerizing. So many hard-hitting moments that made you rethink the story and realize how far we have truly come. The finale of Attack on Titan is shaping up to be an unforgettable send-off for such a monumental journey and a thought-provoking experience that will undoubtedly dig itself and lay to rest within everyone's hearts. Let me know how you felt about the chapter. I'd really love to hear your thoughts. But with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Drink plenty of water and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.